negativity, judgment, criticism, personal attack. It can feel like it's all around us and coming at us. And today is all about how you can learn to address it from love so you can let it go and come back to a place of peace. So let's get started.
Welcome to the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, a place for the strong, sensitive, spiritual seeker to recognize the perfection of your human journey, as if my work is to bridge both the emotional and spiritual worlds through proven and grounded frameworks that support you to live in the wholeness you already are. For over the past 2 decades, I have supported people from all around the world, as well as Fortune 500 companies, to dissolve the divisions within them and live with greater empowerment and love. This podcast is an exploration of the paradoxes that befuddle us as we live our lives being both human and divine. Together, you and I, along with other experts, will navigate integrating psychology and spirituality, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the darkness and the light, to create greater sacred union from within. I believe through your remembering that you are innately divine, that you will allow yourself to more openly shine. So let's get to it, because your unique light is needed more than ever.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, or welcome if this is your first time. Today, I feel we have a very timely topic about how to respond to the negativity that may be swirling around you, or especially when it gets directed at you. And I want to be mindful, because I don't want to come from this place that there's negativity everywhere and come from this place that's negative, right? There is some amplified negativity. We are seeing people's emotions come out sideways. And I feel that this is our opportunity to focus our attention on how we can bring greater love to our emotional selves and to these circumstances when you are experiencing someone being negative towards you, judgmental, criticizing you, attacking you, and you are trying to find your way and how to navigate this in a way that is fair and respectful and loving to you and the other person. And so we can find ourselves in these conversations with another where they say something and you don't quite agree, and you want to try to open up a loving, kind, respectful conversation, and it just goes nowhere. Not only nowhere, it goes sideways, where that person's rage and anger comes towards you. And so this was a recent experience of mine. I want to share with you some of the details about that, because this is really about how I was trying to navigate this and what didn't work. I want to share with you right away what didn't work and what did. What really got me back to this place of inner peace. And it didn't take that long, but it definitely took navigating my ego around this, which I'll share more, because my ego wanted to jump in and protect. And the difference between how the ego tries to protect and when we really step into our power and know our inner truth and a larger inner truth that allows us to really release and move on and grow. And hopefully that's what these situations are giving us. So I know if you are someone that is sensitive, that you know how difficult it can be to process negativity. You're just more attuned to it, right? You're more attuned to anything and everything, because that's how you're built. And these spidey senses that we have can really pick up on the negativity. And wow, if it's directed at you, you are feeling it, right? But I don't want you to go in a downward spiral and carry the weight of especially what is really ultimately someone else's unprocessed feelings. But I'm going to get into why it does feel like weight for us and what we can do about that. And really, it's understanding that if you are sensitive it's probably because you were raised in an environment that was more hypercritical. And so when this criticism, judgment comes at you, it can really bring up those feelings of feeling attacked when you were younger and you just did not have the psychological skills to protect yourself. And so what can happen is if we don't learn the psychological skills, we can go into these protective states or rage back as a form of protection. And really, what it looks like to dial into our psychological skills instead and do it from a place where we are honoring our humanity and our divinity, because that's what this podcast is about. And really, these scenarios that can be difficult for us are such a powerful opportunity for us to go deeper into love. And that's what I love about this, is because when there's an attack, it's someone else's fear. And when we learn the skills and we remember our connection to the divine, it really helps us amplify love. And again, I want to share with you where my ego wanted to go with this and how I really came back to that place of honoring both the humanity and divinity within myself, and how you can do that as well. So the thing is whether you're sensitive or not, it's just a human condition that if we get criticized, if we have negativity and judgment pointed at us, that we take that on. So much so that a study says that for every negative comment, it takes about 7 positive comments to counter that negative. Now, I think this is really something important for us, especially if you're a parent, to recognize like, whoa, I really need to be careful with how I'm phrasing things, because one critical, judgmental comment, it's not like someone can't get over it, but it takes about 7 positive comments to really counter that within a person. And so this is normal. This is part of our human psychological experience, because it is this attack that is being pointed at you inwardly. And so how do we navigate this without taking that on? Because I think that's great for parents to know, but as adults, we don't want to be waiting around for 7 positive affirmations from other people to find our center, right? We have to be able to get ourselves back to that place. We don't have to, but we want to, so that we can come back to being ourselves, being from a place of inner peace within ourselves, and also knowing our power. So let me share with you a little bit what happened and how I navigated this on a human level, what came up for me psychologically, and how I ultimately utilized this experience for greater love. So what happened? I was recently having a free workshop, the Chakra Reboot. Hopefully you were a part of it. That really gets into learning how these 4 pillars of our psychology are trying to work for us to help us grow. And of course, I'm sending out emails supporting people to listen to the replay. And if you want to go deeper, there's a program you can join. So I get an email from someone basically saying, ew, it literally said ew, and that my marketing was fear-based because I was saying, hey, this is your last chance to catch the replay. And so I was like, hey, I'll just engage, see if this person's willing to engage in a conversation, because they were kind enough to let me know, like, hey, this wasn't really resonating for me. So I was like, let's have a discussion about this, because I think that's really all a part of a spectrum of whether your perspective is going to see this as fear versus an opportunity. Because from my standpoint, I've had the emails come to me afterwards saying, oh my gosh, I missed the replay and I really wanted to get this. And I didn't, make the time. So we have these emails reminding people, hey, catch this. You'll love this. It'll be helpful for you. And so I share that with her, again, really coming from this place of honoring her for reaching out, sharing that piece of it, that I feel like it's a part of a perspective if we see it from fear or opportunity, and interesting to take in, and grateful that we're connected. And what came back was a lot of rage and a lot of anger, and that's okay. Um, as a psychotherapist, I'm blessed to have the skills to know, okay, that's her rage. It was a very big reaction to someone coming forward, um, trying to have a thoughtful discussion. It was there room for me to do it different? I'm sure, especially I'm sure for from her lens, right? But it really was coming from this place of honoring her. Hey, this is how I'm seeing it. Um, and, I think it's just an opportunity to look at how we're seeing things, because that again is also part of the chakra reboot, where I'm inviting people to start to see how their perspective is shaping their reality. So it fit in with what someone signed up to receive for free training. So after receiving that response, I knew that there was nothing more that I could say that would make a difference. The key is that her reaction was insightful enough for me to let me know where she's coming from, to be fully clear that this person is not in a place to have an open conversation. So, how someone first of all, whatever someone engages in a conversation, shares their opinion with you, what they're sharing is saying more about them than it actually is you. It's coming from them and again, their lens. And so when I saw that in the second part of the conversation where it was very much lashing out, and it was just like you've been there where you just feel someone's like rage and anger just like all over the place. It was clear to make a boundary of like, yeah, I'm not going to engage with this person anymore. So we need to be able to take in a conversation. It's loving, I think, to reach a hand out and say, let's try to meet in the middle or try to understand each other better, and to come from that place of being open to people and open that they may be able to meet you in a respectful way back. But if they don't show us respect, then that is the boundary. Now, to my husband, he'd be like, well, I didn't think that first email was that respectful to begin with. Like, who takes the time to like share something like that? And I was like, hey, I'm going to give someone the benefit of the doubt that they're trying to be helpful. But after that, and when people show you who they are, then we have to make a human decision of what our choice is going to be, and that there should be a boundary because this person is not being respectful of how they're engaging with you, right? So now my husband, again, I talked to my husband about this afterwards, and he's like, if it was me, I would see an email like that and I would just hit delete and not deal with it. And I've been there as well. I was just like, you know, I think that when people might be confused or seeing things in one other way, is there an opportunity to open that there's another possibility? And you're either going to get that feedback that they are or they're not. And that's really where we need to, all that we need to know before we move forward with what is our next choice. And so that's fine. If they bite back, you're done, right? And your boundary goes up, and then it's looking at what is the residual that is left within you. Now, I used to think that like an emotionally resilient person wouldn't feel any of the residual. It's kind of like boundaries up. They're the ones that have the anger issues. I'm good. Let it go. And that was kind of my husband's take, where he was like, why are we still talking about this person 10 minutes into it? I don't think she deserves that. And I said, well, this is interesting, because if someone was like kind of punched in the nose, um, we would be checking in on them that they are okay. Because even if their nose is actually okay, it's a shock to the system that someone kind of goes after you. And this is a physical going after you, right? Well, it's the same thing when someone goes after you emotionally. There's this kind of, you feel that pain of the energetic hit that they were making on you, right? And so it was really important for me to frame it in that way, because so often we're taught that being emotionally strong is like you just pretend you are over it, when really you're stewing with it. And I did not want to be in that place of stewing with it, because the whole part of being emotionally resilient is that first we've got to be honest where we are at emotionally. Because when you are on this path of living with greater love, empowerment, resilience, inner peace, you pretending that negative feelings aren't there doesn't work, and it will fester. And so the last thing we want is when someone triggers us is to pretend that we're above it, and to kind of let it keep swirling and stirring us up inside, right? And taking away our mental energy and our spiritual energy, because we're caught in that stewing, right? Um, the other thing that we can end up doing, which is also something that I did, was trying to make ourselves feel superior by making the other person less than, that they had this reaction. So when I was talking to my husband with the situation, the conversation wanted to go there. Like, you know, clearly this person has their anger issues. You don't, you're a happy person, you're better off, and too bad for them, and move on, right? And the thing with that is that inside of me, it did not clear the energy. And so I was like, okay, psychologically, I get it. Like, I get that this person has unprocessed anger. I get that that's her energy that she's trying to project onto me, but getting something mentally does not mean that our energetic field is okay, that our energetic field is cleared. And so I was like, all right, I know this stuff, but what am I going to do to allow this to clear? So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to pray for her, because this is her unprocessed energy. She doesn't know what else to do with it. And so it got leaked on me. And so I'm just going to pray that she feels better, thinking that would help clear my energy field. Oh no. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to meditate on this. And so I was sitting in meditation, and the words that came through were small scratch, big reaction. Small scratch, big reaction. And at first it was about her. And then my essence came through. The divine knowing, our higher selves came through and said, and that's me too. That is me too. There was a small scratch, it created a big reaction. And then her reaction hit my scratch, that created a big reaction within me. And I could see ourselves as the same. And that's what cleared the energy. I wasn't better than her. She wasn't messed up in her anger, that we are human and we are going to have encounters that hit us in a certain way that brings up pain. Small scratch, big reaction. And then it is up to each of us to decide what we're going to do with our reactions. And so this is where I could hold us that we, as humans, we are the same. We are going to have these triggers. We are going to experience pain. And then as humans, we have this divine blessing to choose. Am I going to stay in that pain, or am I going to choose something else? Am I going to have a choice that festers in this pain, or am I going to choose something that leads me to greater love and greater empowerment and greater remembrance? And so it's honoring. We're the same as humans, and something that I've been so blessed to receive is divine guidance to guide me and my human self to choose differently, to learn the skills so that I am not living my life reactionary as I once lived, and by the divine grace have continued on a path despite pain to learn skills to remember the love that we all are. And that is when I was able to fully release it, because I was honoring both of our human experiences. I wasn't trying to make myself superior in any way, either as my role as a psychotherapist and knowing things psychologically, or who I am in my connection with God, that I should pray for someone else because of their poor soul or whatever I was doing. I don't know. It was just really coming from this place. No, she's me and I'm her. And the only difference that separates us is a choice. And I've been blessed. I've been blessed that somehow the divine or the goodness or whatever we want to call it continued to open me to an expansive choice rather than shut me down. And trust me, I have lived those choices of being shut down, of being protected, or trying to protect myself, of living defensively. And that led to anxiety and depression. I've been there. I'm not above it. I'm just blessed to have been offered opportunities to choose differently, and have had the wisdom open up within me to choose differently. And we all get to have that. And we all get to decide when our time is, when we've had enough with doing things our way that leads us to so much pain, and we just circle in it and spin in it. And again, I have been there. And then the blessing to say, I'm tired of this and I'm willing to learn another way. Even if I'm not guaranteed that life is all rainbows and butterflies anyways, that I gain a skill set that helps me navigate life with greater ease. And this is what makes us each the lucky ones. Because I know you listening to this podcast, you're already someone that's on this life trajectory of wanting to live with greater love, of wanting to live more consciously. And this has been a choice that you have continued to make for yourself. And so you are a lucky one, and you're a blessed one. That something inside you connected with your inner wisdom to guide you to this. And we want to bow and honor your humanity that chose this place of learning skills so that you could feel better, so that you could feel more at ease. And this is where I really want to change the language of, I'm so tired of the inner work. I get it. Like, you can be doing the inner work, and if you're doing the same thing over and over and you're not getting any more growth or different results, it gets frustrating. But guess what? That frustration is there for you to tell you, like, okay, this worked for a while and now I'm ready for more. And am I going to give myself that blessing, that opportunity to be one of the lucky ones that lives their life with ease or not? Am I going to get into some story? and to have compassion for ourselves when we're in some sort of story, and to honor ourselves every time we say, I'm willing. I'm willing to lean in more towards love. I'm willing to understand myself and others more towards love and empowerment and true understanding, so I can release all the stuff that isn't mine and come back to the loving energy that I innately am. That is our birthright. And yet, as humans, we always get the choice. We always get to choose. And if you're like me, it may take a lot of pain to finally choosing yourself and choosing to learn the skills. But it's all that really separates us is a choice and a perspective to see this is a freaking opportunity, a blessing, a gift. If I allow myself to step into this better way of living. And what I appreciate about this experience was that it led me to a deeper sense of what appreciation gives. So there's no pun intended with that my experience was a deeper appreciation for appreciation, but really it was understanding that when we're in energy where there's negativity, there's criticism, there's judgment, that you can go to the simple place of appreciation. Again, for yourself, that you're making choices that allow you to live more and more expansively, and appreciation for others, because we have no idea what kind of arrows, what kind of stuff is being directed at them, and they're just trying to like live their life, right? We have no idea. And so when we can show appreciation for others, we're able to make someone's life better or their day better. And they may not directly attribute it to you. They may not even know that it was you that, gave them a compliment or, showed some sort of appreciation. But the gift in it isn't just that this other person gets to receive. It's that you get to be the bearer of a gift to someone else, that you have that power to appreciate another, and the ripple effect of the loving energy that you are bringing into the life of another, and the ripple effect that will have on their interactions with another, and so on and so on. It goes until it comes all the way back to you. And now you are being hit with a momentum of all this appreciation that you've given to others, not trying to get it back, but it just has this momentum, this ripple effect that comes back to you and opens your heart in ways that you did not know were possible. This is the power of you and your love and appreciation. And so I'm grateful for this experience that was teaching me not only to be more resilient, but to dig deeper into love and appreciation, and to see that it's all a choice. We can ripple in our fears, and there's deep compassion for why we choose that. And yet we will never find peace. And if we separate ourselves, we're not resolving the energy. And so the way to resolve it is to recognize the oneness, and then allow yourself to have appreciation for everything that got you to where you are today. And for hopefully a part of you that continues to choose to learn the skills that will allow you to be one of the lucky ones that experiences life as a blessing, that has blessings come back to you in multitude because of who you have chosen to be in this life. If hurt people hurt people, you've heard of that expression, hurt people, then loving people love people. Don't do what I did, which is try to rise above another's hurtfulness and try to make yourself feel a little bit better by feeling a little bit more superior. It's human. I did it. Like I said, I did it. But then I recognized it was not the way to clear the energy. It wasn't the way to bring peace to this energy so it could recycle rather than, and it was staying with me until I was ready to receive this person from love by seeing how we're the same, and in doing so, receive that aspect of myself from love as well. So it's really recognizing we're all doing the best we can. We are all on this human path. There will be forks in the road where we are offered the choice to feel righteous, separate, or that we are one and the same. And through the grace of the divine and the grace of your essence working in alignment, you, thank goodness, are on a trajectory that is allowing you to live and feel your best. You get to be one that gets to live and feel their best because of your choices, because of living in alignment with the divine that's within you. So thank you so much for getting into the depths that I love to get into with these conversations and exploring them with me. If someone came to mind to you as we were having this conversation, that's a sign, that's a way of how the divine works through us. And it may be an opportunity to share this episode with them because it may stir something important for them as well. So, or if you just feel inspired to share this with people, please do, because I feel that the more we remember this within ourselves and the more we're creating that ripple effect. So please, if you feel inspired, or again, if somebody came to mind, especially, then you want to please share this. And together, moment by moment, we can know that there's nothing to fix, just to remember. Remember the love we all are and came here to be and to express to our fullest capacity, and that we are all doing our best to do just that. So sending you so much love and appreciation that we are connected. And until next time, please take care.
I am so honored you have joined me today. If you enjoyed the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, subscribe so you don't miss any of our power-filled episodes. Also, if you know another who is strong, sensitive, and spiritual and wants to dive deeper into emotions and ancient wisdom so they too can create profound peace and fulfillment from within, please share this podcast. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.